Hello and welcome back to another MC Championship video. We finally have the teams for the next MCC event, which happens to be the non-canon MCC All-Stars event, which takes place on Saturday, November 13th at 8 PM GMT. So let's talk about these epic teams with some analysis and my own ranking as well. But before we begin, please remember that only a small percentage of the people who watch my videos are actually subscribed. I'm sure you've heard this message countless times by now, but subscribing is my way of knowing that you enjoy these kinds of videos. So if you want more of these in future, then make sure to check if you decided to hit the red button. Now let's dive into the team's analysis. Alright, time for the disclaimer. As always, what I say about the teams in terms of statistics is completely true, and I have no hate towards anyone in this MCC, and this should be taken into account when I present my opinions as well as my ranking. Where I place each team should not be seen as bias or hate towards anyone on that team. If you are genuinely confused, then I suggest you look up the definition of opinion. I can confidently say that due to the sheer randomness of MCC, I am most certainly wrong in probably all of my predictions. Indeed, it's difficult to account for the coin multiplier and how players will choose to perform on the day. Interestingly enough, the teams this time around are actually quite unbalanced, but S Major has already confirmed on both Twitter and Reddit that this is because it is a non-canon event. So instead he has made teams with quote-unquote fun combos, with duos, trios, and entire teams that you wouldn't expect to see in a canon event, so just bear that in mind. Finally, if you have something you would like to say, for example about a certain team, or indeed just your own ranking, then feel free to leave them in the comments, but without any toxicity. Phew, that was a huge disclaimer. Right, shall we look at some teams now? Last place are the Aqua Axelotls, this team consisting of Crinius, Erin, midsole, and Mini Muka. Clearly this was a team just thrown together without much thought needed, but it still works. It features two members from the MCC 13 Teal Turkeys, a team that many requested for this event, but which we didn't get. So this is the closest we're getting to that team. Those two members are of course Crinius and Erin, and both players have seen below average individual placements for season 2, but I know that sometimes they can perform better than expected, which ultimately led to Teal Turkeys winning MCC 13, which many people did not see coming. The reason this team is last for me, however, is due to the other two players, neither of whom have played in MCC for over a year now. Midsole last plays in MCC 6, which is the event he won, but between then and now, he became an obsolete season 1 player who would barely get mentioned at all. And same goes to Mini Muka, who last played in MCC 11. Mini is another below average player, but returning back to midsole, in the two events he has ever played in, he has managed top 15 on both occasions, and it seems as though he is training hard for this event after asking for help on the MCC subreddit. So we may see a standout performance from midsole, but a team of below average players simply doesn't do this team any justice. But hey, anything can happen, and I guarantee this POV will be fun and chaotic. 9th place are the Orange Ocelots, this team consisting of Wisp, Smallish Beans, F-Whip, and Solidarity Gaming. Another statistically weaker team, and another team that seems to be playing just for fun. Wisp and Smallish Beans are both average players. In particular, Joel managed top 15 on several occasions, and he won MCC 10, with Wisp usually finishing between the 15th to 20th range, and he won MCC 14, where he was teamed with Solidarity, who is below average, but his individual placements recently have been varying quite a lot. For example, he can manage as high as 15th as he did in MCC 17, or as low as the bottom 10 as in MCC 15. F-Whip is generally an average player who used to secure top 10 finishes, but now sticks around the middle of the pack and is a consistent all-round player. Build Mart, Sands of Time, Grid Runners are the games that I feel this team should leave to the second half, where the coin multiplier is more profitable for successful teams. In 8th place, the Purple Pandas, this team consisting of Kratzy, Michael McChill, King Buren, and Kara Corvus. That's right, this is the exact same team as the winners of first ever MCC. That was MCC 1 almost 2 years ago in November 2019, and the fact that 3 of the teams from this event are teams that have won an event have always wanted some winning teams to return to battle it out for another victory. But out of these 3 previous winning teams, this is the one that I think will finish lowest. While Kratzy is undoubtedly one of the strongest and most consistent A-tier players ever, the other 3 players are all below average. Indeed, Michael may have 3 wins, but he has rarely managed top 20 and usually finishes in the 20th to 30th range. Before MCC 17, Buren was a solid average support player but finished 39th in MCC 17 after his team achieved an incredibly low overall score, but this was mainly due to the infamous Sands of Time fluke. Kara used to have a decent top 30 streak in season 1, but lost it for season 2, most notably amassing just 730 coins in MCC 15, but she has improved a bit since then, but still bottom 10 individual placements from her nonetheless. So while yes, this team has got all the right chemistry and is sure to have great communication throughout, they could really lose a second chance at dodgeball, especially since this isn't a PvP heavy team, as the only consistent PvPer is Dave. Nonetheless, expect great performances from this team at movement games like to get to the other side. 7th place are the Cyan Coyotes, consisting of Puns, Captain Puffy, Blushy, and JoJo Solos. This is an interesting team to say the very least. Blushy and JoJo Solos haven't actually been in a canon event, let alone win a canon event. However, they did win the non-canon MCC Rising event in October this year. While it's difficult to judge how Blushy and JoJo will perform, some people suggested using their MCC Rising stats, where JoJo finished 5th and Blushy on the same team in 11th. However, if I'm completely honest here, I don't think either of them will manage top 15 for this event, since there are a lot more competitive teams and a greater skill level from the majority of players here. And no offense to the MCC Rising players, but in reality, since the skill gap in MCC Rising was significantly more than that of canon MCCs, Blushy and Jojo could absolutely surprise me, but I'm expecting decent top 25 or top 30 placements from them. Punz is a strong seasoned regular participant who won MCC 13 and is almost always capable of finishing top 5 individually and is an incredible PvPer, as shown in the more recent events. He has teamed with the captain Puffy twice, but she's a below average player, but still decent as support, especially in movement games, which is where she statistically excels. While on the whole, this team appears similar to the Purple Pandas in that there is really only one strong PvP player. This is, again, another good team for movement and team games. 6th place, the Pink Parrots, the team consisting of Tommy in it, Tubbo, Filza, and wilbur. Another incredible fan service team featuring 3/4 of the Purple Pandas that won MCC 4, although, while the original team had Technoblade on it, this one has got Tubbo instead. But the 3/4 SPI trio of Tommy, Filza, and Wilbur have teamed several times between MCC 4 and All-Stars, for example in MCCs 8 and 9 and 16, however their team placements here were on the lower end, because unsurprisingly, this team will focus on making memes and content out of every event. That doesn't mean they won't try though. It's clear that there is a ton of chemistry as all the players know each other from Dream SMP. Tommy will probably take the leadership role here, if not Filza. Both Tommy and Phil can finish top 20 in most events if they take it partially seriously. Wilbur has had some surprise performances, including a 10th place finish in MCC 15 and 12th place in MCC 17. Both solid performances considering he usually could finish as low as 35th in MCC 14. Tubbo won the last event MCC 18 and has managed to finish top 10 on several occasions, particularly in season 2. So I'm definitely seeing this team as an all-round solid team when it comes to individual performance. And due to their high viewership, they can easily manipulate the audience game vote for the 5th game. Clearly this is a strong PvP and movement team. The main issue with this team is that in order to do well, they actually have to listen to each other. The communication needs to be very clear in games like Build Mod. 5th place we have the Green Geckos, this team consisting of Pizza Hut, Grian, Ryguy Rocky, and clubfan 135. Here's a team with solid comms and great chemistry across the team. The famous Pete Grian duo is back after they both won MCC 17 and they are both Build Mod pros. Indeed, Pete is still statistically the strongest MCC player of all time and consistently manages top 5 individual placements while also providing great morale to allow his team to perform well too. Grian has only won MCC 17 but still has a lot of dodgebot experience nonetheless, and while he has had some stand-up performances in season 2, I'd expect a top 20 from him at the very least. Clubfan won MCC 10 but for season 2 he has been improving ever so slightly. However, the progress is visible as he managed 28th and 27th in MCCs 14 and 17 respectively compared to bottom 10 placements in season 1. Ryguy might hold the team down however, as he hasn't played in a canon MCC since MCC 12 last November, although he participated in and won the non-canon MCC Pi 21 event, but usually he is a middle of the road average movement player. The only concern I see with this team is that they may get overwhelmed in PvP games, because once again, there's only one consistent PvPer in Pizza Hut, but the rest of the team are just average combat players. In 4th place we have the Lime Llamas, this team consisting of Illumina, SP737, Sylvie, and Finster. The obvious standout player here is Illumina, who has consistently finished top 5 individually in every event for season 2 so far, including 1st place in the last event and a great PvP and ace race champion. He has had a ton of dodgebot experience in several events, and as a team leader he is extremely confident and provides the right morale going into the event. SB has seen top 15 placements for season 2, most notably the 7th place finish in MCC 17 which he won. Like Illumina, he's a great movement player. Some of his best games statistically are Parkour Tag, Hole in the Wall, and Ace Race. Sylvie used to finish bottom 10 back in season 1, but has had some phenomenal performances these last few events, finishing 17th and 16th in MCCs 17 and 18 respectively. She also won MCC 18, again another above average movement player. It's clear that the Lime Llamas are strong in this aspect. Finster is another consistent bottom 10 finisher, however, without acrylic nails, Finn can actually do really well. For example, 23rd place in MCC 16, which Finn won. So overall, everyone on this team has just come from their best individual performances and have all won their own events very recently. So this is sure to have brilliant communication and a good contender for movement games as well as team games. 3rd place are the Bluebats, the team consisting of Fruitberries, H-Bomb, False Symmetry, and Rendog. Again, another recognizable team. This is the same team as the MCC 9 Bluebats, which won that event. The duo of Fruit and H-Bomb is one to watch out for. The shared leadership partnership is one that not many of the other teams. Fruit is a very strong movement and PvP player known for his incredible parkour and bridging skills in to get to the other side, and that is one game in particular that the Bluebats may favor. Another game they may wish to play is Sands of Time, which is H-Bomb's best game by a lot. He is really good at this game by keeping everyone focused while exploring the dungeons and finding vaults. H-Bomb himself is a decent top 15 performer. The other two members are are both members of Permacraft, False and Ren. Both are improving players, with False achieving 16th in MCC 17, which she won, and Ren achieving 28th place in the same event. Clearly this is an exceptional PvP team, but unlike last time in MCC 9, survival games may not actually be their best game, since the new scoring systems have introduced fewer coins for personal eliminations and more coins now for opening airdrops. Regardless, a strong contender for Dodgeball if they can get movement in team games towards the end of the game order. Second place are the Yellow Yaks, the team consisting of Quig, CPK, S-Major and Shovel. Yet another recognizable team, this time the MCC 5 winning team. Quig is the strongest player here, a fantastic all-rounder with great PvP and movement capability. But it's been a while since he finished first place individually, maybe he can do it again this time. S-Major, the event organizer, is a solid support player with regular top 20 placements, and he is once again teamed with Shovel, the pair having teamed before on numerous occasions. CPK has done exceptionally well for Season 2, and is rapidly becoming one of the fastest improving players in MCC. With 8th place in MCC 15 and 5th place in MCC 16, it's extremely obvious that this is the best team for games like Build Mod and Sands of Time and Grid Runners, you know, all the team games, since everyone here is able to offer input where necessary, which may ultimately secure them a treasured spot in Dodgeball. And in first place, the Red Rabbits, the team consisting of Dream, George Not Found, Sapnap, and Bad Boy Halo. The iconic Dream Team Trio, plus Bad Boy Halo from Dream's Manhunt Speedrunner vs Hunter videos. Dream and Sapnap have teamed several times before and won 2 events together, MCC 11 and MCC 15, where they dominated survival games, with Sapnap managing first by the very end of the event and Dream close behind in 4th. And the trio of Dream, George and Sapnap. George is an average player who sometimes manages top 15 individually, and Bad had a rough start in MCC 14 before redemption with 16th place in MCC 16. Overall, an insanely strong team for PvP and movement, clearly a good team for games like Battle Box and Parkour Tag, with loads of chaos thrown into the mix as well. Their worst game by statistics is actually Build Mod, as they appear to struggle with communication, particularly at this game. So there's my own ranking for the MCC All-Stars teams. Once again, not as balanced as they should be, but nonetheless this event will definitely be fun to watch. Feel free to leave your own rankings down below in the comments, and remember that my rankings will most likely change in the run-up to the event, depending on what games are going to be played and which teams are doing the most practice. Well, I've been your host, I hope you found this video informative and enjoyable, and I'll catch you all in the next MCC video. See ya!